We learned over the weekend from Elliot Friedman, and I'm just going to read this. He said, there's word today the Nashville Predators have given Tyson Barrie permission to talk to other teams. Barrie is expected to be a scratch versus the Rangers, which he was. He's also a UFA at the end of the season. This allows team and player to see if there's a better fit elsewhere. The only way I read that is that it's a trade request from Tyson Barrie. That's the only thing it has to be. I mean, if the team was just wanting to trade him, they would just eventually trade him. They wouldn't really leak that. They would just trade him. And so Tyson Barrie has clearly talked to the team and said, look, I know that I'm not part of the future plans. UFA at the end of the year. Doesn't seem to be any talk about a contract, which wouldn't make sense anyways. And so what did you think of when you saw this? And there's one other update I'll read after you talk, but were you surprised to see this news about Tyson Barrie at this point?
I don't know that I was necessarily surprised. The thing that surprised me the most was the timing, because this all kind of broke right after Alexander Carrier was injured. And we had talked to and asked head coach Andrew Brunette about the Tyson Barrie being a healthy scratch. And his comment was, it's a reset, kind of similar to what Luke Evangelista went through, kind of similar to what Yakov Trenin went through. They each kind of sat for a game. They were a little bit off of their game, just a mental break from it. And I took that, when we got that from Andrew Brunette, I took that to mean, hey, he's going to sit a game. But when he sat a second game in Buffalo, this is where it makes me think, there's got to be something happening. Yeah. There's going to be some movement relatively quick if they're going to continue to healthy scratch him.
Yeah. So, and you just brought up him healthy scratching guys like Evangelista and Trenin and Tomasino. The difference is those guys are in their early 20s. I guess Yak is 26, 27. Tyson Barrie's 32, so he's like for him to be treating Tyson Barrie like that and to saying like he needs a reset, it indicates a lot more, right?
Right.
It definitely sends a different message for a 32-year-old defenseman. Here's what I think is going on. I think initially Tyson Barrie probably knew going into the season he's not going to be in Nashville come the final day of the year. He's probably going to be traded by the end of Nashville, or by the end of the season from Nashville somewhere. Now. So one thing that's going on here, I think, is this: if he knows he's going to be traded, he probably is. That's got to be a rough situation to be playing these kind of games for this kind of team all season long, knowing where am I going to go?
Right.
What's going to happen in February? Am I going to be in Detroit? Am I going to be back in Edmonton, Toronto, L.A.? Where am I going to go?
Right.
So not knowing that has got to be tough for him and his family. But then also, I think the Alex Carrier injury. So, if you remember, they called up Mark Delgado, got him some games. They immediately call up Stastny. That probably triggered something in Tyson Barrie that said, "Look, if this guy, one of our top defensemen, gets injured, and I'm not immediately promoted as a top 4 guy, it's time to move on."
Yeah, this is not a place that sees me in a position where I see myself playing.
Even right now.
Correct.
Let alone in the future, but even these
this
games
season.
In December of this year, I'm not even the guy to take that spot. It's going to be this 23-year-old from Milwaukee who, admittedly, is better than him right now. I mean, I think
Stastny's fantastic.
I think Mr. Stastny is part of the future of this defense, which we can talk about, but. That's what I think is going on. I mean, and I don't blame Tyson at all for this because I think he didn't choose to get traded here. It was a tough situation for him last year, stepping in and being like the only veteran guy in that room late in the season. He handled it phenomenally, and then he comes in this year and knows I'm probably not going to be here again. Maybe I could get traded earlier rather than later. And now, after this major injury to a player I should be replacing, they just go and get the guy from Milwaukee. How about we just go ahead and trade me?
Yeah, let's just call it.
Yeah.
Let's part ways. And I'm with you. I kind of can't blame him. If you know that that's coming and you kind of see the writing on the wall, there's no point in dragging it out. If this is where the two parties are headed, there's no point in just having an honest conversation and saying, hey, maybe we need to change the timeline of this. I can't fault him for that.